She waited every evening in the quiet office, long after the lights were dimmed and the cleaners had gone home, not for overtime pay, not for praise, but for the sound of soft footsteps that made her heart forget how to beat normally. The office building looked different at night. During the day it was loud, sharp, filled with ringing phones and hurried voices. At night it became gentle, almost kind. The glass walls reflected loneliness instead of ambition. Maya sat at her desk, fingers resting on the keyboard, pretending to organize files she already knew by heart. The computer screen glowed faintly, casting shadows on her face. She checked the time. 6:58 p.m. She always checked the time. 2 minutes later, the elevator dinged softly. Maya's shoulders stiffened. She didn't look up immediately. She waited, counting her breaths, trying to calm the excitement she never allowed herself to name. Footsteps slow, elegant, familiar. A soft voice broke the silence. "I think I forgot my scarf again." Maya finally looked up. Elena stood there, holding the edge of the door, her long coat slightly open, her hair loosely tied. She looked tired but beautiful in a quiet, unassuming way, not the kind of beauty that demanded attention, rather, the kind that felt like comfort. Maya smiled, the kind of smile that happened without permission. "You always forget it," she said gently. Elena smiled back. "I know, maybe I like coming back." They shared a small laugh. It echoed in the empty office, then settled between them like something precious. Elena walked closer, draping the scarf over the back of Maya's chair instead of taking it. "Still working late?" Elena asked. Maya nodded, just finishing up. They both knew that wasn't true, but neither of them said anything. Elena sat across from her, folding her hands on the desk like someone waiting for a confession. Outside, the city lights blinked on one by one. "Do you ever feel," Elena began softly, "like you're surrounded by people but no one really sees you?" Maya hesitated, then answered honestly, "All the time." That was how it always started, simple questions, simple answers, and then something deeper slipped through the cracks. Elena sighed. "My house is always full, guests, conversations, expectations." She paused, "But it's so quiet inside." Maya swallowed. "This office is empty," she said, "but it feels calm, like I can breathe." Their eyes met just for a moment, but that moment stretched longer than it should have. Elena looked away first. They talked about small things, work, weather, old movies Elena loved. Maya listened more than she spoke, always careful, always aware of invisible lines she was not supposed to cross. Elena was the boss's wife. Maya was just an employee. And yet, every evening, those labels felt thinner. Days turned into weeks. Maya started arriving early and staying late. Elena started timing her visits, always forgetting something: a scarf, a file, a pen, an excuse. Sometimes they shared tea from paper cups. Sometimes they just sat in silence, comfortable and warm. Maya noticed things she shouldn't have noticed: how Elena rubbed her thumb when she was nervous, how her voice softened when she laughed, how her eyes seemed to search for something every time she entered the room. Elena noticed things too: how Maya listened like every word mattered, how she smiled with her eyes, how she never asked for more than Elena was ready to give. But something was changing. One evening, Maya overheard voices near the elevator as she walked back from the restroom. "Have you noticed how often the boss's wife comes here?" one colleague whispered. "It's strange," another replied, "and that girl from accounts is always around." Maya stopped walking. Her heart sank. She stood frozen, feeling exposed, foolish, small. That night, when Elena entered the office with her familiar smile, Maya didn't look up. Elena noticed immediately. "Hey," she said softly, "is everything okay?" Maya kept her eyes on the screen. "You shouldn't come here anymore." The words came out sharper than she intended. Elena blinked. "What?" "This, whatever this is," Maya continued, her voice trembling despite her effort to stay calm, "it's not appropriate." Elena stood still, hurt flashing across her face. Did someone say something? Maya clenched her fists. "I know my place, I forgot it for a moment." Silence crashed between them. Alina took a step back, her eyes glistened, but she didn't cry. "I never wanted to make things difficult for you," she said quietly. "I know," Maya whispered. "That's why you need to stop." Alina nodded slowly. "I understand." She turned and walked away. The door closed softly, but the sound felt loud enough to break something inside Maya. That night, Maya didn't finish her work. She stared at the empty chair across from her, replaying the look on Alina's face again and again. Days passed. Alina didn't come back. The office felt colder, louder, empty in the worst way. Maya tried to convince herself it was for the best. She focused on her tasks, avoided staying late, avoided thinking. But every evening at 7 p.m., her chest ached. Then came the rain. It was heavy, relentless, pounding against the windows like it had something urgent to say. Maya stayed late again without realizing it. The office lights dimmed automatically. She packed her bag ready to leave when she heard the door open. She turned. Alina stood there, soaked, breathing heavily, eyes red. "I couldn't stay away," Alina said, her voice shaking. Maya dropped her bag. "I waited my whole life," Alina continued, stepping closer, "inside a marriage where I was invisible. I did everything right, I smiled, I supported, I stayed quiet." Tears streamed down her face. "And then you looked at me," she said, "like I mattered." Maya's eyes filled. "I was scared," she whispered. "I still am." Alina nodded. "So am I." They stood there, rain and silence surrounding them. "I don't know what the future looks like," Alina said, "but I know what it feels like when I'm here." Maya reached out, hesitated, then took Alina's hand. Her hand was warm, real. "I don't want evenings without you," Maya said softly. Alina smiled through her tears. They didn't rush, they didn't kiss. They just sat on the office floor, hands intertwined, breathing in the quiet. Outside, the rain slowed. Inside, something healed. Sometimes love doesn't arrive loudly. Sometimes it waits, inside offices, inside silences, inside hearts that were never meant to stay empty forever.